What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Of course, you know it's your boy B-Hop Radio Shout In. Stepping in the building, I got an actress, a producer, a media mogul in this thing, Chrystale Wilson. How you doing today, sis?
Hi, I'm doing great, honey. How about you?
Feeling good, feeling great. Now, Chrystale, can you take it from the top? When was the point that you realized that you needed to get into acting and that would be your passion?
You know, here's the thing. I as a kid, I was always extra. So my mother was like, I always knew that you were going to be in some form of entertaining. And so yeah, so I think from early on, I was having this conversation with somebody not too long ago. I said, I think it's some people that are born with it and it's some people that are trained to do certain things. Mm-hmm. Acting, I was born to do, I feel.
Mm-hmm. What was your first acting role that you got?
My very, very, very first acting role that I got was like a little commercial that I did when I lived in Sacramento, California. It was for a bank. Mm-hmm. And so that was my first little acting role, honey. But my first memorable acting role, of course, was the Players Club, mm-hmm. Which is now this cult classic.
Exactly. During that Players Club movie, what was that like getting geared up for that feature film? And did you know that it was going to go down as a cult classic either?
Oh my God. No, I had no idea. And I'm just so, I'm so honored. I'm just so blessed to even have it. You know what I'm saying? Just because the people, the culture keeping it alive, honey. Ronni lives, honey. But when I did it, when I got the role, I was so nervous because, you know, everything about the role was very taboo. Being a stripper, number one. Number two, being a lesbian stripper, right? And then just really kind of being like about that money and just about that lifestyle. All of those things were taboo. We knew that we were doing them underground, but people didn't want to talk about it. And I wasn't so sure about how they were going to take it on the big screen. So I was nervous, you know, but what I did say to myself, and Ice Cube was so great and instrumental in this because he made me very comfortable with the role, and I knew a lot of strippers, like, you know, being here in Atlanta, exactly. You know, going to the strip club for the wings, you know.
Thanks.
For the wings, honey. I knew a lot more about that lifestyle than probably a lot of people did at that time. So. And he just let me bring a lot of what I learned from the girls to the character. Mm-hmm. And I just knew that I said, I'm gonna give you my very best. I'm gonna do the best job that I can. And how that comes off, we're gonna have to just see, right?
What was the streets' reactions to Ronni after that movie dropped, and how did your life change after that?
You know, let me say, after the movie dropped, I got a lot of good reactions, but the thing about it is I believe that during the time when the movie came out, because we didn't have what we have now with social media, it wasn't so many people from Atlanta that were doing acting. We were definitely into the music at that point, but the acting, I'm like the first Black actress to come out of Atlanta to do a major film production, right?
Exactly.
And so during that time, so I went to LA because everybody was like, you got to move to LA, you got to move to LA. But then in LA, they didn't take me anyway. They just thought I was they just thought that I was like somebody from Atlanta that Ice Cube found in a strip club and just cast. Yeah. So I was there and I was, you know, hitting a pound in the pavement, but nobody was like trying to cast me for anything else. And so that part of it was hard. Then I came back to Atlanta. And then, like I said, the film industry wasn't really here. So that people say, oh, well, what happened to the girl who played Ronni? What happened? What happened? That's what happened. You know, I just kind of fell between the cracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you came back to Atlanta, well, when you stayed down in Atlanta, you started doing your own production. What was that like when you said, okay, let me keep the party going regardless of what's going on out here?
Yeah. So I came back, again, a first to do something. Honey, I need to go in a history book or something. But I need to go in a trap museum. In the trap museum. So I was the first African-American female to do an independent union film called Groupies.
Yeah.
I wrote that, casted it, and then me and my partner at the time, we financed it and all of that. So I just, I was the first to do a lot of things, and I think that it was great in a sense, but I just didn't have the push behind me. It was like, what's his name? Copernic.
Kaepernick.
I'm a great player, just
Yeah.
didn't have no damn team, you know? So that's just how I felt like I'm a star player, but
Hmm.
it's about having that team behind you to push you to go in there and fight for you and for you to get different parts for your vision to get seen and that type of thing. And then using somebody else's money to finance.
Come on now. After Groupies, you came back with that Kudzu Christmas though.
With that Cousin Christmas, first original film on TV1. Yeah, yeah, and so yeah, so I've done some things that I'm really really proud of. And so that's why when people say, "Oh, well, what happened to her?" She's still been grinding. She
Yeah.
just, I'm kind of a private person. It took me a while to get with the whole social media thing, because see, I come from the era of dope dealers where you had to you had to have you had discretion. You wasn't talking, you wasn't telling all your business. You definitely wasn't on
Exactly.
there like, this where I am, this what I'm doing, look at me. You weren't doing that. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't like, oh, this who I'm sleeping with, and then they know who you sleeping with, and then they like, okay, damn, she gonna be more popular because she fuck with, this most popular rapper. Like, no, like it wasn't like that. So that took some getting used to for me. You know what I'm saying? Just to be like, let me put all my business on social media so the people can see and know I'm live. Yeah.
Exactly. So now, producing or acting, which one do you feel like you really enjoy the most, or is it just a mixture of both?
It is definitely a mixture of both. I love acting because it just is an outlet.
Mhm.
And it's just fun to take on those different characters and be challenged in that way. And I just really appreciate that. I like bringing writers' vision to life
Yeah.
in that way. But there's so many political aspects to acting. It's not just like I could go in, I could be the best person to audition, but it's so much more that goes to it than just being the best to audition. And that's what a lot of people I think don't know. You have to have a really tough skin. You got to take a lot of no's, even when you know you deserve like the hell yes.
Yeah.
So I enjoy acting, but I don't enjoy the politics per se that go along with that. So the production side of it is what allows me to thrive and it not be it be judged on the merit of my work and not so much like, oh, okay, well, if you got this many likes, if you got this many followers, you know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
really based on what I do and what I do as a professional. So that part I really enjoy my production side of it.
Working with Queen Latifah on From the Bottom Up, what has that been like?
You know what's amazing? I didn't even get a chance to meet her not one time.
What?
Yeah, not one time. But Nikki Gilbert, who was actually the
That's
person
my
who,
girl.
yeah, she was the person who it was her concept, it was her idea, it was her baby, it was her vision. I was just super thankful that she thought of me to include me,
Yeah.
to give me that opportunity and that platform for me to, put my face back out there. So that part of it, great. Um, am I the person? Am I the woman, the fit for sitting in a room with other women that I probably normally wouldn't probably be in a room with?
Mhm.
And probably not. I'm probably not that person. you know, and not to say because I've been in many rooms and I can walk into anything from the boardroom to the bedroom and fit right in. But in real life, you have the option to walk
Mhm.
out, right? You have the
Yeah.
option to be like, yeah, not feeling that person. So maybe won't take another meeting, maybe not move forward with this endeavor. But when you're on a show, then you sign on to put yourself in rooms with people that you may not particularly care for. And then when you this is what I had to tell people. I said, people say, oh my God, I can't believe when all these reality shows, I can't believe they acted that way. That's so ugly. That's so trifling. But when you're and you can't get out of the room and you're backed into a corner, you're going to act out. That is just what it is. And so that's why you get a lot of that because you don't have the option a lot of times to just walk away, you
Mhm.
know?
Mhm.
So that part of it wasn't really the best thing for me.
Answer me this though, Chrystale. Coming off of that Players Club, how did you deal with all of the attention from the men and the women chasing you around town after that movie came out?
You know that I get chased around more now, 22 years later, than when the movie actually came out. For
What?
everything. Because the character was so intimidating, I believe, that a lot of people, especially back then, again, like I said, it was very taboo. So people was like, oh, I don't know if she really liked that because she played the hell out of that role. So people weren't really coming up to me like that. They were like, yeah, nah. I better try Diamond.
I
So,
feel that.
but now I think because the culture, like again, like I said, they're just more comfortable with it. They're more comfortable. That's just a regular thing to them. That's just how they are on every day. A lot of them, So it's like, oh my dad, Ronnie. I'm like, yeah, now y'all make me nervous.
Answer me this though, Chrystale. Nowadays, with this digital technology and all of this stuff, and a lot of independent movies happening, do you feel like it's easier for you to get back out there now and do your thing versus back in the day when you really had to put that budget together for them hard copies and everything else?
It is again okay with that. People say it's who you know. It's about who says they know you. That it's you can. I can know a lot of people. I know a lot of people, and I consider a lot of people in this industry my friends. Like I could get on the phone with them, and I could call them up, and all of that. And people be like, "Well, damn, how you friends with such and such and such?" But you can't get onto this. Again, it's politics. Also, it's about timing. And like, if you in the room with somebody that you know, or they in the room, and so, something come up, a part or something, they got to think about you. They got to say, oh, damn, you know who would fit that? Chrystale. So people that are fabulous with that, Victoria Raw is my sister on screen and just in real life. I just love her to death. Like she always, will go in the room and bring me up. Like I was Emmy nominated because this woman felt like what I did on her project, The Rich and the Ruthless, season 4 is on BET Net Plus right now streaming.
Right.
She felt like I was as a comedic actress, which a lot of people don't know. So I was Emmy nominated for a web series as a comedic actress. So that's because she said my name in the right room. Some other people, Keith Neal over at Swirl Films, George Pierre, Castaneges. So those people say my name in the right rooms at the right time. And so that has helped me to, continue to work. So just if more of that happens, then yeah, I'm Gucci.
How did you feel when you got Emmy nominated though?
I thought somebody was playing with me. I was like, okay, really? Man. So it was exciting, and I used to always be teasing. I'd be like, when those people would say, oh, it's just an honor to be nominated. I didn't have to win. I was like, they lied. They know they wanted to win. They wanted to win. But it really is an honor to be nominated. It is, So yeah, I'm just grateful.
Exactly. Looking back over your career now with that hindsight being 2020, what would you tell a young Chrystale coming out of college to do with her career, in what directions, or what to prepare for what she was getting into?
I get that question a lot, and for me, I just don't think it's a cookie cutter answer for that. Especially when I see how many different avenues I see people finding their success, but the one thing the advice that I would give anybody that's doing anything, whether it be in this industry or whatever it is that you desire to do, I don't care if you want to be a dog walker, be true to yourself. Be true to yourself and be honest about what it is that you want. Don't let society dictate what your dreams are, what your purpose is. If that's your purpose and that's your passion, then walk in that, speak loudly and proudly about it. Don't let anybody shame you out of it. And that's what worked for me, even with Players Club, because as nervous as I was like, this is my dream. This is what I've been wanting to do. And I really don't care. I didn't even tell anybody. I didn't even tell my mom. I told my mom I was in LA working with Tony as their assistant. Until I was almost finished with the movie. Yeah. And she was like, well, why haven't I heard from Raphael? Like, what are you? And I said, well, I gotta tell her. Yeah. It'll be coming out soon. But I just didn't want her to have on it. You know what I mean? Because even though that being my mother, I knew what her prayer and expectation for me was something very different. And if I had said, okay, yeah, I'm about to play this lesbian stripper in a movie called A Players Club about strip clubs, she would have been like, oh my God. She would have gone immediately to her church, her prayer warriors, and they would have been praying up against my dream, right?
Exactly. I know what you're talking about.
So just, be honest about what it is that you want, and just, and don't let anybody shame you out of what your passion is.
Being in the industry from the outside, going into it, was it everything that you expected it to be, or was it a little bit more crazier than you expected it to be?
It has not been as crazy as I probably thought it was, as far as what I'm saying about like when they say, sex, drugs, rock and roll, that type of thing. Like, it hasn't been that crazy, but it may be because of the person that I am. Like I said, I'm just kind of I'm a private person. I mean, I could go when I go, I could go now. But I just have never had any really crazy experiences on that part of it. But the part that has been a little bit different than what I thought it would be is the politics that's in it, that is involved. I just never thought that. I just thought, hey, if you're good and you do a good job, then yeah, you probably gonna work. You know, I didn't know it's like about like I said, about that team, about that person. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that person and that person, knowing that person, and them saying, bring your name up, in the right rooms. I just didn't know that has so much to do with it.
When you put up your own money and did your own thing, did you still find out that those politics were playing a role in your success, or how was that for you?
Absolutely, it did. Absolutely. I was fortunate enough to get my money back, but the as far as like making over what I put into it, I didn't, because okay, so like for P, he did it totally independently. He sold it himself. He sold his movies and things like that. Well, with me, we put the money in, but we inked the deal with, ooh, honey, my age, Blockbuster, and people like that.
I've been to Blockbuster.
Right. But then we had to go with a larger production company that had those relationships. And then, so, they put their cap on it. And so by the time they give you your little advance, it's kind of like how the old time record deals used to be. By the time they pistol whip the crap out of you. They like, well, we paid for this and we paid for that and we paid for this and we paid for that. And how much do you get? Yeah, nothing.
Damn. When you think about your, now I'm with you.
Yeah, you feel me.
When you think about your career, Chrystale, what was your favorite time minute that you just felt like, you know what, I'm loving this and it ain't getting no better than this?
How about now?
Ooh.
Like on everything, probably the past, I would say 4 years, I am loving it. Because before I think I took a lot of hits personally, like, oh my gosh, what could I have done different? What could I have done better? Oh, why this person get it and I didn't get, all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it was also because I was dealing with other things. And age plays a part with that, wisdom, and just I'm in a place with myself. I'm like, you know what, hey. And I'm working on some amazing things. Like I did the Underground Railroad, which just got released on Amazon Prime, which is phenomenal. Working on the production side of that. I'm just working. I just worked on the Wonder Years. And not in front of the camera, but the pleasure of seeing these things come to life. And these things are major, and the people that I'm meeting, and then the respect that I'm getting from my peers is just. It's so good, it's a good feeling. Like right now I'm working, honey. I'm pausing to talk to you, so you got to be important.
Thank you. Talk about that versatility though, and when it comes in handy, because you got a lot of one-trick ponies out here that can only act. If acting ain't working, then they ain't working.
Yeah. Well, see, that's what I want to say. Like, I had a drama coach when I was in college, and he was so dope because I went in and he would have me doing stuff like he wouldn't cast me like in the theater stuff. He would have me like doing the curtain, putting the marks on the floor, doing like knowing the placement of like furniture and stuff like that. And I was like, what is wrong with him? Like, why has he got me doing this? Like, does he not see I'm a starer?
I feel you.
So, just one day, and I would do it. I would do all the things, you know, because of course it was a course that I was paying for, and I wanted to get it. I wanted to, you know, get a great grade.
That's right.
But I just had a conversation with him one day, and I just like, well, you know, Mr. Benjamin, why you don't ever like really like cast me for like one of the parts? And he was like, listen. He said, I see your desire and I see your drive. He was like, and the thing that I know about this industry is he was like, you're not going to always be in front of the camera. He was like, and if you only look and strive to be in front of the camera, you're going to be disappointed. And he was like, and you could they always find somebody new and fresh and younger and smaller and this and that, more beautiful, whatever, to be in front of the camera. But if you know these things, if you know the ins and outs of production, you can always work. And that is one of the most valuable things that I think that I could have learned at so early on, because I didn't implement it until later in life. Will Packer, shout out to Will Packer. I know y'all know Will Packer. I remember I was just kind of feeling away, and I was called. I was like, y'all, like, I'm not getting no roles. Like, can y'all do a tripod 4 or something? Like, can you cast pictures? And he was like, listen, and he was one that kind of broke down the different, you know, ins and outs of his side of it, right, of the business. And he was like, but, you know, I know that you know, I worked at a law firm. A lot of people don't know that, but I used to work at a law firm. So he was like, I know that you're not just creative, but you're also very organized, and you know you're good at paperwork and things like that. So you may want to look at doing this job. And I'm not trying to insult you, but I just want to put another avenue out there that I know that I can help you with, and I know that I can put you on with. So come on board and maybe do this. So it was like for art department coordinator. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay. And so I did it, and I hated it. I hated it. But I did it. You know what I'm saying? I did it with flying colors, and you know, and I got calls to do it again and again. I did it like 3 or 4 more times, and I just didn't like it. But the money was good, and then it came during a time where I wasn't really getting acting gigs. But it put me in a position with other people in that department that I met, and I said, let me find my niche, what it could be. Production designer Corey Washington, shout out Corey. He was like, maybe you want to do this, you know. And so I just kind of bounced around until I found what it was that is a combination of creativity as well as the business side of it, and so that's where I am now, and it's just a great place to be.
That's awesome.
And it pays the bill.
During them down times though, how did you keep your mind strong and keep your confidence and your wits about yourself and keep from going crazy and just quitting?
Who said I did? You assuming a lot now, B. You assuming a lot. I absolutely had my time. Did you see me on Ayala?
No.
Oh, okay, see, yeah. Honey, you watch that, you'll be like, okay, yeah, she was a little off. She fixed my life. I mean, but no, I absolutely had those moments and times. I had even bought a place in Dominican Republic. I was like, I'm just gonna go there and open a fruit stand. Like, I'm done. I don't want to. I'm over this. Like, I'm tired of getting my ego bruised and all of that. It's just too much, you know. So I did have my times. It was just basically the grace of God. You know, they say God has mercy for babies and fools. Mm-hmm. And during the time that I was a fool, he had mercy on me and just pulled me through. And I also say, God has one of his most powerful guardian angels on me. I don't know who it is, Michael, Gabriel, somebody. He high up on the totem pole. But because I have put myself in some situations that it was almost like an energy snatched me up out of it. Like, yeah, no, not you. Yeah, we're not gonna let you have this one because we got a bigger plan for her. So it's just you've got to be spiritually grounded, and that's the best advice I could give. And I'm not a little holy roller by no stretch of the imagination, but I was always spiritually grounded. I can't think of one time in my life where I have done something to somebody to be malicious. Like, I'm just not a malicious being. I've done some shit that wasn't quite right. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like I never did something like saying, you know what, I'm about to do this because I know this is about to mess this person up. I know I'm about to take this because I know that just to take it. I'm not gonna steal a purse. I'm gonna steal a loaf of bread. I'm that type of person because I'm a if I do something wrong, it's because I need to eat or because I'm in a bad situation. So I think that energy sees that and feels that and protects you from all of the bullshit that can happen to you.
That's
You
right.
know?
That's right. Being on Iyanla, what was that like having to deal with her and tell her everything?
Oh God. It turned out good. It ended well,
Yeah.
but going in, it was a thing, you know. I got so extremely ill at one point, like, and I never get sick, ever, hardly ever get sick. I had like a excruciating headache at one point. I had
Yeah.
like a stomach ache. It was bad. And she came and she talked to me. She was like, listen, what's happening to you right now, she said, you actually going through withdrawals. She said, because you've been addicted to this pain that you're in. When you're saying I'm okay, I'm all right, you being strong and saying, yeah, I'm good, she said, that's your, and when you're not, she said, so you've been letting stuff fester, and now that you're getting up off of it, now that it's coming out of your body, you are having withdrawals because your body and your mind is so used to being in pain and concealing it. She said, if you go through this process, I promise you, you will come out of this a better woman than you've ever been in your life. And it was the absolute truth. Yeah. At the time, when she was telling me, I was like, I don't know. I think I might need to leave.
I know that's right.
Feel like I'm a bitch.
I know that's right. Well,
But
now with you.
I went through it and I just came out on the other side, just a really, truly a much better woman than I had been my entire life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Lastly, is there anything else that you want to tell your fans? Because you know folks still loving on you.
And
Yeah.
I promise, so honored. So listen, this is where y'all, because people say, where can I find you? Where can I find you? Okay, so this is what I have going on, you guys. I have a show that is going to be coming on BET Plus called All the Queen's Men. It's about a male strip club. Okay, so almost like a Players Club, but the male version. And so, and with the beautiful Eva Marcel in it, starring in it, and I play her sister. So make sure you check that out. Okay, so we happen this summer. I have The Rich and the Ruthless that's streaming on BET Plus right now. Season 4 is, so catch up on the other seasons if you missed those. And then where I'm just a total fool and maniac. And then I have Bad Dad Rehab that should be coming out soon, where I'm Big Daddy Kane's wife, and that'll be on I don't know. Swirl did it though. So keep an eye out for that. Behind the scenes work I've done Bigger, which is on BET Plus. The Underground Railroad is on Amazon Prime. First Wives Club with Jill Scott, that'll be on BET Plus. I did that behind the scenes. Wonder Years be on, I think, ABC. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm doing.
It sounded to me
Right
like
now,
you
I don't
working
even
your
know what
ass off though.
I am working my ass off. Let me tell you, I'm working right now. I don't even know what I'm working on. I gotta think about it. Let's see, what am I on? Oh, I'm on this movie. I'm on a movie right now. Do you see me in my dinky suit?
I see you getting it in.
I've been grinding, honey.
Exactly.
But no, it's fun. It's fun to see everything come together. I love production. I always have. And that's another thing. I never got into this just to be in front of the camera per se. I've just always loved production. I've always loved to see it come together, and so that I have an appreciation for the art. So that's what this is light work. It's heavy, is hard work, but it's light work for me because I like to do it.
How do you feel like the game has changed over the years from the time you stepped into it until now?
Oh gosh, it's changed in great ways, I think, because people have more control over their careers as far as how how they can promote themselves and all the different avenues that they can promote themselves. And then all that, once you get there, when you get that opportunity, all the streams of income you can have, because you can get different products and say, oh, I got this, I got that. You get your little YouTube. It's just, whoa. I wish I could turn back time and say, okay, bam, I got the Ronni sunglasses, the Ronni lip gloss popping, the shoes, the the perfume. I got Players Club perfume, honey. You know, so it's those things now. It's so many ways that you can really hit it and put your face out there.
That's right.
You know, so that's how it's changed. Yeah. You know, you don't need like you used to have the agent, the manager, the personal manager, the headshots. You got to go. You know, you got to get them headshots printed. That was expensive. Mail that shit out. You know, I hope I can curse. I know. I just cursed.
You can.
But that was a lot. You know, that was a lot of money. You got to find the time to go to the post office. So it's, you know, none of that. Now you can do everything digitally. You know, you can update your stuff on a regular and just, you know, honey, they got the filters. Everybody fine.
Ain't that the truth? Chrystale, how did you survive COVID-19?
Oh my gosh. When I tell you, I survived it wonderfully because I'm kind of a homebody. I stay in the country. I have like 3.5 acres of land, and people don't know that, but like I'm really Ellie Mae Clampett. Like, but I could cook though. She couldn't cook. I could cook. But I'm gardening, cutting down trees. I have a chainsaw. People have to stop me from doing stuff. They be like, okay, yeah, I don't know if you should be doing that.
Michael Myers?
So yeah. I have a garage full of tools. So for me, I was over there doing my YouTube channel, cooking in the house with Chrystale. I was doing cooking with Chris and giving out little cooking tips. Cause see, I could cook, and I have a cookbook called Sexapede.
Talk to me.
So, yes, it's called Sexapede, and it's a combination of recipes and sexcapade. Imagine that. See, I was nasty before Candy. No. Baby, I had before Candy had her dungeon, I had my basement.
I ain't mad at you at all.
Oh, but no, so it's, you know, so I was doing some recipes from that, and I enjoy it. I enjoy cooking. I wish I could get a cooking show, put it in the world, put it out, speak it out. But yeah, so you know, just like maybe like a little cooking talk show where I could talk to the people and just cook a little something. But yeah, so I did that, and that's how I kind of got through the pandemic. It was great.
What was it like when things opened back up?
Crazy, because I was probably the first person back at work. I was patient zero. I went back to work, and a girlfriend of mine called me and said she needed a production designer on this project. And it was honestly when we first opened back up, and I was testing probably like I was having a COVID test like 4 times a week, and just to stay safe, you know, and sanitizing everything. So I've been back working since the soon as it opened back up, I was at work. And I've been working ever since. And I'm just grateful because I have not had one positive COVID test. I've been good. I've been straight. But see, I follow certain rules now because to keep myself safe. And then I'm just, you know, fortunate. Yeah, I'm fortunate. Like I said, I got that guardian angel in me. I'll be straight.
That's right. How do you feel like COVID changed the movie industry moving forward after that, though?
Oh, it's changed it because now so much of our budget goes towards COVID compliance, honey. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money being used to make sure that we are tested, that we are safe, that we are in compliance, that we, you know, that the areas are clean. And where I'm working now, I don't even have an office because the COVID compliance people got 15 offices. So I work from my van. I'm just kidding. So that's how it's changed because we are hand in hand with the COVID compliance people. Yeah, and you just, you know, you have to stay safe, and that like it's to keep these people actors, and so we can keep entertaining people, you know, because a lot of people are staying home and looking for movies and looking for content. So you know, we had to open back up and we just had to do it as safely as possible.
I know that's right. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for your time, Chrystale. How can these folks contact you if they're trying to find you, though?
Right, right. Because Instagram don't want to give me my blue check. So what it is Chrystale the Prototype. So Chrystale, the Prototype. That is my Instagram handle. Okay.
Already. Thank you so much for your time. Anytime you got something going on, please let me know about it.
I will. Thank you for having me on here and chatting it up with me, dealing with my crazy.
I love it. Take it easy.
You too.